be very boring because Vici are just going to avoid every single fight. Spectre's going to get huge, and she's going to carry the entire game.
All right, so if Nigma wins, it's going to be very much like... actually, you know what? I'm not going to make the analogy. I was going to make actually the worst anime analogy ever, and thankfully the game's ready, so I don't have to do that right now. I'm going to throw it over to the casters, and we're going to get into this best of two, second game right now. Right now.
Prepare for battle.
Máy nặng quá. Không sao,
User team mana boy.
458 có đài bắt ở đây không? 458 đài bắt rồi. Muốn giết một con rồng máu mà chạy thành sông.
Looking for Nigma to take and win as many team fights as they can, while Vici has that late game insurance and the Spectre. I mean, what are your thoughts on that draft?
Yeah, I gotta agree. I don't think they have enough to close out the game in 30 minutes. Last game they had Lycan, also didn't succeed to close it out early enough, and this time around, I think it's gonna be even worse. Ori, at the start of the second season, he was a bit slow. You know, he was not Ori. He was 70% Ori, 30%, I don't know what it was, water.
30 seconds
but at the end of the season, it's the good old Ori, you know, because you have high expectations of this player, what he can do, and we can see in the previous game he ended up with what, 21, 22 and 1 score in the end, and in this particular game also he is the king, because you're playing into Dark Willow, Puck, and Ancient Apparition. These heroes are just food for you. Like one combo, you delete one of these heroes, keep repeating it, hashtag repeat, and keep going in and out. Also, it's a good matchup for Tiny on the mid lane with the addition of the water runes, so he can be pushing out the wave, use avalanche, 3 grab, 3 toss, and then just outpush the wave. Nigma on the other side, they have a good combo, and they have great ways to deal with the centaur, especially Stampede, with the coil, with the arena, so they're not going to get too much value out of it, and they have a great combo. Like either it's terrorize into Mars Arena or terrorize into coil to break it, get that long duration stun. Centaur is strong hero, one of the strongest offlaners right now for sure, but it just doesn't feel as strong when you're playing into Ancient Apparition.
Ooh.
GH.
Yeah, with DY already having a bit of a scrap in that jungle. And Dark Willow always going to come out the victor in that battle, especially with Mind Control's assistance. First blood, very early spillage there, as Vici Gaming lose out their support in the safe lane. It does give a little bit of freedom for Poyo, though, to secure the range creep, but of course important for that safe lane carry to do so. And just coming back to your speech about combos and things like that, like you said, it's going to be difficult for the Centaur to use Stampede. I think that's something the panel brought up as well, was the fact that we like to see Nigma when they are playing very, very speedily. And we'll see if iLTW can pick up the pace with that Ursa build that you've been talking about. Currently facing off against the old 11 Centaur and PYW Shadow Shaman. This is the base damage lane. They've got like 155 base damage between the two of them. Pretty ridiculous stuff.
Pretty balanced, exactly.
Denying and last hitting, all that good stuff.
PYW Shaman was a thing. Like during the first season, the best Shadow Shaman player, without a doubt. He's done some amazing stuff. You know, there's a couple of other good players. Gene Q also played it quite a lot, but PYW Shaman is something to always be feared, because he knows. The thing about this game is both supports on both sides are not gonna have a good time. If, let's say, Puck gets a first jump, if you get inside the arena, you're straight up dead. Same goes for Tiny going in on one of the supports, blowing them up. I feel in this game we will need to see a lot of earlier buybacks from position 4s and 5s. This is how you win a team fight.
I think Carl was mentioning the ability for Vici Gaming to send a strength core down the lane and have Shadow Shaman threatening with wards. They've got some great ways to bait out fights to start off, like Shadow Shaman or Centaur shows, then Tiny blinks in, Spectre haunts, they can turn things around. So I think Nigma have to be very much on their toes and maybe even see some of these early maneuverability items, whether it's the blink daggers or even the Yule scepters, to be able to counteract Vici Gaming's game plan in that regard. In the mid lane, probably just going to be a farm trade for the most part, would you say? Tiny against the Puck?
Puck doing much better than I expected, but there's a full wave coming to Tiny. That's why, because it's a pretty even matchup, I would say, where it can go both ways. If there's like a rotation, if Tiny gets his runes stolen, then he's going to struggle a bit. But yeah, he can also threaten a kill on Puck with his combo.
So far down bottom, and DY's first death definitely leaving a sour taste in his mouth, but so far hasn't really fed away too much more. You know, this threatening lane from Nigma, actually going to get onto the Spectre now with a chain stuns, but pops the one, and a little fairy fire to keep the Spectre alive.
Interesting build from GH. I've seen different builds. I've seen him going for max Shadow Realm.
Old 11. Cold feet snaps on him. He turns. Oh, the double edge. Trades his life out, but killing that Ursa off. Beautifully done.
This is a killer lane for VG Gaming. No points in a retaliate. I think he needs to get it like right now, but 1-2-0 build is kind of a thing when you are paired up with someone who can just disable them, like Shadow Shaman.
Yeah.
But to go back to the Shadow Realm talk, I've seen GH maxing the spell. This time around he went for 1 point in Bramble, 1 point in Curse Crown. I'm a big fan of Bramble Maze, where Bramble gets them maxed out, especially here, where I don't think you get too much value from the Shadow Realm. We'll see what he decides to go for, but just more control and more damage, like laceration as well, is a great setup for Mars.
Yeah, exactly, especially with that Mars, you know, spearing people through brambles, getting the Curse Crown stuns set up beautifully in that bot lane for themselves. As it looks like Ori, like you were saying, pretty even matchup in the mid lane against the puck. We'll wait for that kind of 6-7 minute moment where they decide to rotate and come into the side lanes. That's still a good 3 minutes away. But it does have to be the...
Oh, Miracle dropping low. Pops the water rune on mid.
He's turning back onto the Tiny. Ooh, orbing forward.
He's fine. Has a bottle. Magic stick. Also Fairy Fire to work with, but needs to be careful now when puck spells come off cooldown. There are no bounty runes to be picked up.
Yeah, so
you would wish someone dies in this situation. Like one of your side lane supports, they die, come back to mid lane, refill the bottle. I'm not even kidding.
No, you're reading my mind. That's something I've been saying for ages. Yeah, just wait for DY to die, come and refill the bottle. Thank the position 5. Spam out some salves and bottle refills. Oh, they do get a catch on Tiny. There's the coil with a GH rotation, picking off Ori. And that's Miracle hitting level 6 as PYW thinking about the go on Kuro. Can't keep the chain stuns going. And of course, Old 11 wanting to play the lane and not get dragged away by the pesky support.
I gotta say, Old 11 has been more stable. One of my favorite players in terms of like doing fancy stuff, throwing the game, overextending. I like these type of players, but he's been more stable lately, just doing the stuff, textbook examples.
Yeah, for quite a while, in my mind anyway, he was somewhat of a budget ice, where, like you say, he had these real crazy plays. He was able to get in the face of his opponents and cause havoc.
I always say about 11, either he is the best player in the team or like looks like the worst one, and no in between.
But yeah, he's become much more stable, you say, as of late. As we gather up in towards the rune spawn time, GH takes the haste, and stunning DY caught up in the Bramble Maze with a combo. Tiny's in, the toss. It does catch Miracle, but he's jumped forward to his orb. Now caught out as the Edict shot. Zaps him down, and DY taken out by the Shadow Realm, but they've got Tiny and Shadow Shaman both here on the GH Dark Willow, but Maraska gonna haste and run away. Old 11, very close to death.
Oh, doesn't catch. Oh, that was close. Shaman was deeping topped by mana boots.
Combo again. GH, has he got Shadow Realm? And he looks like he's safe and sound regardless with the wand and the raindrops.
A raindrop.
Shadow.
Plus a fluffy hat is the thing to buy on support this game.
The counter.
Exactly, the tiny counter.
And mind control, he's been left alone for a decent amount of time, but he's top of the net worth, given a good early lane stage by the Willow. 3,100 net worth for him, so... What we're seeing, is it going to be the Blink, is it going to be the Yules, or does he go Hood first? What's the plan for MC?
For MC, I wouldn't mind seeing a Hood or Blink into Hood, because... Decides what we'll see what Puck decides to go for, because right now he has a Witchblade, which I'm fine with that, just to be able to one-shot the supports.
Oh, it's a smoke. Oh, he spots them. Avalanche to stop any attempt to jump up to his high ground. So he dodges the gank. It looks like Nigma also wanted to try and scout out some stacks in that Radiant Triangle area too, and maybe get some vision down.
Poyoyo is level 6 in Spectre, but does not have mana to work with. He's bringing some regen, has power treads. Let's see if DY has one mango to work with, so he could potentially use it on him and then make a play. Yeah. Global presence is very strong for VG Gaming with the Spectre, Tiny blinking in, you follow up with the Stampede, possibly, so very maneuverable.
Yeah, they're everywhere on the map and nowhere at once. Tiny finding the Dark Willow. Shadow Realm not going to save her from the onslaught that is PYW. Shadow Shaman, oh, hang on a second. They've slipped the Dark Willow away. The Stampede, but into the coil. Now PYW's the one stuck. Shackles up the Miracle Puck. Nigma have backup with GH and Kuro both still lurking around. And PYW the one that gets found and killed while GH survives.
GH is level 6, 8 minutes in. That raindrop already expended every single raindrop charge. I would not be surprised if he decides to buy another one.
Spam the raindrops. Keep him going. And he's pairing up with that Kuro Ancient Apparition. Looking up towards the top lane. Safeguard iLTW's farm. He's got phase boots and that ring of health heading into the hood.
Plus a chipped west on top of it. So a lot of region sitting at the tower, 11 per second.
And old 11, he's going to slip away. Hides in the trees, went for Vanguard himself. Probably going to go for that Vanguard hood into the Blink Dagger.
Pretty standard stuff from the Centaurs these days. Just want to be able to tank up, not necessarily get an early Blink Dagger. Because you're a bit later. Oh, there's the combo.
Tiny. Combos up the Ancient Apparition, kills the Courier with his nice little tree toss back towards it.
Again, they have multiple heroes that benefit from Inkswell. You have Tiny, one of the best ones. He goes in, especially with the Blink Dagger. And I'm a big fan of Tiny's not upgrading the boots instead of just rushing the Blink Dagger. Miracle.
He'll orb away. He saw that one coming.
Oh, that was not quick enough from PYW.
And GH still going to get caught here, but he gets the Bedlam out on the Shadow Realm damage. PYW, he's going to get caught by the Miracle backstab. The coil hits 2 mana. Double kill for Miracle while Ori gets away from the cold feet in the Vortex. GH trades himself, but this time 2 kills gathered up by Miracle and a stack being claimed thanks to that Magic Amp and the level 4 Orb Waning Rift.
They needed shackles straight away. PYW not executing perfectly, hexing, but not using the shackles straight away, which gives enough time for Dark Willow to use the Shadow Realm. Still, no haunt, not even a point in it, just maxing out the dispersion, going into Blade Mail, pretty standard stuff, power treads into Blade Mail, Manta style, most likely Scotty, just tank up, maybe even like Manta Diffusal Blade. I'm a big fan of a Diffusal Blade in this patch particularly, because it just feels really good. Battlefield got there, so you gotta get something other than that. Getting closer to Blink Dagger. Hello. Tiny, can he blow him up?
I tried.
Arena available.
Terrorize with the spear. That Inkswell's not going to do very much. And GH, the slippery devil he is, yet again, out of the grasps of Vici Gaming. What was that? 4 heroes brought down to the Spectre lane as they stampede top. That's to get old 11 away from iLTW.
Gary, it was to get faster from the bottom lane to the mid lane with that stampede efficiency. He also runs away.
The macro play.
Yeah, bottom lane. Ulti flying. Where's the follow-up?
They're looking for it.
Looks pretty dead.
Poyo. Beautiful setup. Good call across. There it is. Slay the Spectre. Unexpected. As Vici Gaming, like you said, had moved from bot back to mid, and Nigma, they find their opening.
There were no wards. They have 1 ward behind the tower. Shadow Shaman ulti dropped on a mid lane, plus a catapult. No AA ulti. They know it for another 15-ish seconds. Taking the tower, Tiny, 12 armor, and has a Blink Dagger now.
Oh, he does. iLTW and Miracle try and defend that mid lane against the Serpent wards. Killed off the catapult. The wards are all gone. Mid tier 1 looking a little worse for wear, though. Around 300 HP.
Let's see Ori if he decides to use Shovel once. Like near the shop, you can swap it, but he is bringing it to old 11, it seems, or gonna give it to DY. DY, you're a kobold right now. Start digging.
Is it gonna be a kobold? No, it's a salve. Give that to old 11 straight away so they can stay around. Ursa shows on that top lane. Vici.
Interesting build from Centaur. He built a Vanguard, then disassembled it, used that ring to get a Hood of Defiance, and now gets Vanguard once again.
Cool.
What if you keep disassembling it?
Disassembling the Vanguard
and
over
then you
and over again.
disassemble Vanguard, you get a Lotus Orb.
Or an Eon Disc. There's a few things you could do with that.
Under attack.
I think it's a bit of an underused mechanic, being able to disassemble certain items, especially for Bristleback, where you can like he builds into many items, but to Hood Vanguard, disassemble Vanguard later on, you got a Bloodstone possibly. There's so many things you can do with it.
Yeah, limitless options almost there. That's a good point. Well, hello. Miracle has his Witchblade. GH, Kuroki, both level 7. And they would love to get some action around this Dream Coil. Yet again, going back to what the panel was saying about needing to win team fights, they'll have to defend up.
He doesn't die. He's too tanky. That Hood of Defiance, maybe they got surprised, you know, didn't click on a hero. I see certain players doing it.
But that's very shrinker though, they're gonna have another Tombo pretty soon.
Yeah, that's the big item you get on Tiny, that extra bit of a burst sometimes that you need.
They see GH, Inkswell, in comes the combo, blows up the Dark Willow, and another objective secured by Vici Gaming. That's the systematic maneuver that we've been expecting from them, tower to tower.
Every single time there's Shadow Shaman wards up, they rotate to one of the lanes.
And they stampede forward. They know iLTW is nearby. They're going to catch him without his in range. He's tossed back into DY. iLTW going to turn and try and fight in the arena with a spear and the Ice Blast coming in. They're going to take down Ori here with a nice blast and slay it. Miracle with a coil catching the Centaur too. The Hex though, PYW and Poyo get into the back lines with the Ancient Apparition. The Soul Bind's also going to connect onto the puck and the Mars. But PYW's down and Poyo left here without any backup. Nigma surround the Spectre. Now there's no retreat. iLTW, he was the one that was initiated on, gets a double kill. Oh, DY, he's fine. TP's home successfully.
This build on Ursa allows them to take these earlier fights, because without the Hood, he wouldn't be tanky enough. And Miracle, he is, once again, having a blast. Both of the mid laners pretty much, but this time around, Miracle having a better time. I don't think you get this kill. The Dark Willow, does she have ulti? She does, but still respecting the damage that he can tank, plus also the TP rotation. Yeah. Tiny's in.
Oh, look at that. Straight onto Kuro, but you said it, the counter's there. He's got fluffy hats, the fluffy hat for AA. And PYW down in the river, isolated, taken out quickly by Nigma, who moved forward aggressively. Great spear back. Mind control, finds the pick, and they'll ice blast him into oblivion. A double for Miracle, and they want Old 11 now as well, apparently. Tanky Centaur be down. I mean, DY's being dived by the puck. Old 11 in the cold, feet snap, and DY down. A triple for Miracle, and GH picks up the fourth.
Yeah, like something that I mentioned, you know, but fluffy. I've seen Mind Control getting multiple fluffy hats. I didn't mean that for this particular game. If you get more than 2, that's actually griefing. But 2 is fine. Ancient Apparition, we see him sitting at 1300 HP. We have Dark Willow also having just 1 casual fluffy hat, which allows you to not die after Tiny using a comp on you. And very quick rotations from Nigma. They understand, like, there's no Spectre Haunt, there's no Stampede. Let's try to make stuff happen. They kill the tower with the catapult wave on top of it. Pretty much the stars aligning for them.
Oh, absolutely. And now they've got this Miracle puck with Blink Dagger.
It's big. Like, it's puck with a Blink Dagger, it's Ursa with a Hood and a Diffusal Blade in 200 gold. It's time to keep fighting.
Just keep on running at them. PYW out on his lonesome in the middle of the trees there, and a good spear off the Tiny. The combos just keep flowing for Nigma. One after the other, they get pick off after pick off, and Vici Gaming starting to crumble. DY in the Ice Vortex slowed down. Miracle gets the coil solo onto Grim. Take him out.
A lot of drawing on a minimap, like they are here. We know, we can see it. Apparently, Vici Gaming, they don't have any vision. Nigma, they set up a high ground ward. Like, this ward will most likely get devorted, but they got the most out of it. Even if it's placed like straight away, you get a kill or 2. They can also protect that ward easily, and Centaur getting closer to the Blink Dagger, so he could potentially be the one initiating on top of the Tiny. Tiny now upgrading the boots, the power treads, going into Echo Saber. They need that a little bit of extra burst, like that second hit is sometimes all you need to finish off a certain hero.
Absolutely do. Absolutely do. And he's going to try and farm that up at the top. Taking out some neutral creeps. Well, I mean, PYW, he just can't really show on the map. We were talking about the threat of Mind Control suggesting another fluffy hat for Kuro. He's holding on to 3 right now. He's got 3 fluffy hats. Oh, he's the Ushanka King right there as they get the catch on to Centaur. He's popped his Hood, Vanguard up. Oh, he's just destroyed by all the magic damage. You're not tanky. Like, they have probably the best setups in the game for AA to hit the blast. You have Mars, you have like even Dark Willow stun. And there's not really long cooldowns, are they? Yeah, they don't really rely on any of the cooldowns, so they can keep fighting all the time, and that's exactly what they're doing. And soon you're going to have this BKB on MC. He's got Blink Dagger already, so whenever he sees a target, he can jump an arena. While Ori, mana burn. Yeah, this Ursa is going wild on him. But Tiny's not going to last long. He's going to try and blink away. He's pretty speedy, pops his 1, but in comes that Blink arena we were just mentioning. Mind Control closes the door on the Tiny. Very clean game from Nigma. And just going in, keep fighting, not losing any of the heroes. And that Ursa allows them to take Roshan whenever they want to, doesn't he? So if they win a big team fight, it's just straight into Rosh no matter what.
Right now, Nigma is just controlling the big portion of the map, not allowing Vici Gaming. Like, Vici Gaming has vision inside the enemy jungle. They don't benefit from at the moment.
There's the spear.
Snap the coil.
Snaps it up, and puck. Now Blade Mail causing a few issues as Poyo turns the damage back onto them. Haunts around, tries to run, gets himself a little bit of distance as Nigma. They do disengage. Scatter back to a bit of safety, but that's Haunt expended defensively. Something Vici Gaming would have been relying on to win a team fight in the next couple of minutes.
Vici Gaming needs to tone it down a bit to try not to take these fights, get some vision up in their own jungle, devoured, and play for a bit later stages of the game.
Delay.
Nigma knows that, because like they know that they can fight inside the Roach Pit, as you mentioned, and I don't think there's going to be any response.
Doesn't look like it. But I think you're right. Vici Gaming, name of the game right now is delay.
Buy time. Go to shopkeeper. I know you have all these shiny items. Bro, do you have time? We need to buy some time.
Do you have a loan, you know, any kind of credit system? Can I borrow a rapier? No. I'm going to save up for it little by little. And that's now Aegis in the hands of iLTW. And they've got some towers up top that should be pretty easy to claim for Nigma. And they are, pinging out to cut the wave in between Tier 1 and Tier 2 there, while also holding on to mid lane. So spreading out across that top third of the map and forcing Vici Gaming to be farming a little less efficiently elsewhere down towards bottom altogether. Interesting positioning from Tiny right now, though. It looks like he's scouting out.
Creep skipping.
Or is it just creep skipping?
That's it. Blast it and get the hell out of there.
Yeah, cut that wave. TP's coming back for Miracle, though. Oh, he's hungry for this. Mind Control's also arriving. There's the arena. Coil catches the Tiny out, and DY, he can't TP out. The Soulbind's there, but what are you going to do? It's a Grim Stroke. You're just dead to rise. MC comes out with a double. Beautiful setup yet again.
They were so ready for it, like exact moment when he shows up, and you can see that they know, like the decision making, who's gonna TP to tier 2 tower, who's gonna TP to tier 3 tower. They like it's just really on point. Nigma, this game 7k gold lead, 22 kills.
To the 6 of Vici Gaming. Oh yeah, that's the lead. It's starting to spiral out of control. Much more of a solid position than they had in Game 1, where of course they were leading in Game 1 around this time as well. But it feels like if they continue fighting, battling, and reacting as quickly as they have been, Vici Gaming going to have some serious problems.
And I like this. I like what Miracle is doing after finishing off the Witchblade. Has Deso, so he wants to be able to scale. And also going into BKB, he understands they got nothing. There's literally not a single spell that goes through magic immunity, so they're good to go. One of the reasons why Mars is also going for it. Ursa, after finishing the hood, has Shard queued up, which is...
yeah, got his Basher as well.
Yeah, Basher on top of it. Just a casual one, because he's super farmed at the moment. Items are just piling up.
A smoke's broken by Miracle mid. And Mind Control is going to be lurking around near the Roche pit too. I was going to say, if there's one thing Vici have shown they're very good at, it's choosing the right moments to strike around the Haunt with a smoke. That was a 4-man move, but Nigma just a step ahead in that situation until they lose the courier there. Vitality booster of Kuroki drops.
Middle tower is under attack.
And an immediate response. Ice Blast chucked down to that bottom corner. Right-hand side of the map. Everyone from Nigma smoking down here, and I think they might have spotted PYW. They're going to TP out, though, as Vici Gaming.
Better TP out. And also, he found the perfect item.
Oh, old 11.
All good, reliable. Fillet Stone, 11. Seems pretty dead, no one to help him around.
Yeah. Left down there all alone. And iLTW continues his streak. This map just... the fact that Nigma come bottom, they get a kill, they push one wave, and look at how quickly they move, TPing to top outpost, getting into the Radiant Triangle, because that's where they know Vici Gaming has to be. There's nowhere else they can farm. So they're keeping the pressure laid on very thick.
Kuro, his item build. Like, if you've seen this in pubs, you'll probably think I'm reporting this Overwatch case. And
screw you, Tiny build.
But this is exactly what it is, you know, just does not want to die to Tiny, and I believe he's also going for E on this, which I really like. So he's going to be able to get his spells off, most likely going to get procced by Spectre in a team fight. Maybe Spectre doesn't have enough damage to actually go all
tried mind control, they toss the Horn Illusion, great terrorize. Shackle's not cancelled out though, the Soulbite comes in with a big blink stop. Mind control's taken down, and it looks like Nigma still wanting to turn a fight around Ursa
no man,
but he just walks straight through them.
No life.
Miracle beyond godlike, and they want PYW as a cherry on top of this team fight. You kill them, Mars will kill the rest of you. Who's the third one? He's out there. Grimstroke barely TPing home, but Tiny might not have the same luxury. He's being coil snapped and frozen in the cold feet. Down you go, a triple for Miracle.
Miracle is just completely popping off in this game, as he was in the previous series. Now, like that was a fight with Puck. Arcane Rune has phase shift attack, has the damage balance on top of this, so just not enough. Like they need to execute the combo, they need multiple spells, multiple shackles in a team fight, but it's hard. As we said at the start of the game, supports are gonna struggle. Because Puck, he gets the first jump, you can't fight. Like you get silenced, pretty much you're dead. Delay, drop for Nigma as well.
Yeah, give that to Kuro, shall we? Buys himself a smoke as well. Definitely a sign of life, though, from VG Gaming. Even though it wasn't a great team fight, they lost out a lot. Still the ability to make moves on their terms, which is something that some teams can struggle with when they are so far behind. I mean, a 10k lead now for Nigma with all those items you mentioned coming into them. And that next Roshan just under 3 minutes away from fast spawn. But a BKB from Mars, and RTW's aggressive jump to high ground.
And Shard.
DY nearly just dies, and a terrorize on the two of them. GH is going to come in with the help of the coil, the fear them up, the Tiny dead, and the Centaur looking pretty screwed as well. Unstoppable Ursa back onto the Spectre with a Bedlam. What's the control looking like though from Nigma is a spear, and the clear up from GH. 4 heroes obliterated.
If Ursa gets any other item than what he's got, if he doesn't have Hood of Defiance, he straight up dies there. Potentially different fight, but very nice itemization from iLTW. I don't think I've been pleasantly surprised by someone just knowing how like good itemization can win you the game as in this one.
Surprised by someone buying a Hood?
No, as a carry, like this is, I don't think, like if you scroll through data, I don't think you will be able to see Hood Ursa as the first item pretty much ever.
I think you're right. So we used to see it a little bit on like Phantom Lancer, right? You know, PL Hood makes sense, but Ursa, yeah, not really something that we come across too often. Hello, 2-man stop, and then the Stampede to run away because they got the arena down. Ori's blinked in aggressively looking for Miracle. The Puck's gonna manage to wing, ripped onto the side, but not far enough.
Got him.
GH comes in with a Bedlam though, needs to turn it back on the Tiny, finish him up with mind control. PYW on RTW, and VG Gaming hold their high ground to get 2 massive core kills. Mind control might even be the third one they grab. He's stuck down here in old 11, tracking back on the Mars. It's a good ice blast coming in, but I think MC is not going to manage to get up the staircase. Turned on and zapped by PYW, while Kuro TPing, Stomp cancels it, Ancient Apparition, done for.
Nigma, they got what they came for. They killed the melee barracks, the range barracks at 20 HP, so they can be taken down easily still. You know, they have a better late game. If this goes post the 35-40 minute mark, you know, considering the amount of the farm and the advantage that they got, might not be too good for VG Gaming, but Spectre's getting farm. Like Spectre got that Manta style, so potentially next Roche, which could spawn in 35 seconds, can be taken. Spectre deals ton of damage with Manta style, Shadow Shaman wards. Maybe that's the sneaky play that they need. I was talking about the itemization. He wanted to get like Bash or Butterfly. I'm more of a Diffusal Blade fan, as already stated, where mana burn on not just the supports, it also gives you that extra slow potential. The damage output that you get from it is insanely high, so I like the Diffusal hero quite a lot.
Yeah, against melee heroes, you know, Mars and Ursa, something that mana burn can really stack up and work against them quite quickly. And it looks like we do have the big circle drawn around the Roshan, which is just under a minute from spawning. Everybody going to start vying for that positioning around the Radiant Triangle, around that top rune spot. GH walking in, wanted to try and grab the bounty rune. Is he going to terrorize back onto World 11? Curse Crown already used up, self-fuels to try and save himself and buy a bit of time as Mind Control. He arrives. Arena in, catching fire. They've got to get down, the buyback from Willow. Ice Blast lands onto Ori and Poyo got stuck in the arena too, but they've got the Stampede Coil. Catches the Spectre. They want to focus down Poyo real bad. Spectre's gone. No buyback on her either.
Nice spell casting there from Nigma.
They
Not overlapping spells.
They found PYW.
He's the king of the hill.
Is he the king? I don't know, he looks like the Joker to me. He's a jester stuck up there.
Yeah, great spell casting. Using Arena, not overlapping the coil, so Spectre can't move. And AA Blasts were on point, once again hitting on the multiple heroes. Can't regen, like...
And no
Radiant's
buybacks.
top tower has fallen.
And you've got Miracle BKB at this point. Coming up to high ground. Oh, that blink. Tiny slips away with DY. Unfortunately doesn't have that ability. Tiny gonna get yours done. Serpent Water thrown in onto them, but that Tiny demolished by them. And again, no buybacks for Vici Gaming. So their entire base is open season for Nigma to pick off these buildings.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Panel talked about how they don't have enough damage. This is why Miracle says, you know, I'm gonna get the damage. I'm gonna be the tower damage. 25 damage talent plus the death. So phase shift attack on top of it. Now has a full BKB. Just some good stuff. He's been involved in 29 out of 35 kills. I think everyone is pretty happy seeing Miracle back on the mid lane.
Oh, absolutely. It's just absolutely glorious to watch. And Vici now, what, 2 lanes of racks down. Try and reclaim any semblance of map control, deward out their base. Maybe move towards the Roche pit. They've got Haunt, and they should have the majority of their arsenal ready at their disposal to try and contest this.
Vici takes this fight. They smoke. They have a big item, Gary. Shadow like Shaman with a BKB plus lens. He can go in, and if he does not get bashed by Ursa, it's not gonna stop. So they need to execute. Like, this could potentially be a big turnaround for Vici Gaming if they get there on time, which they won't. But
it's too slow. They can't get there, and they're scouted out by the wards. Attempt to terrorize, and look at that. The BKB's popped out by PYW, only to die to the right clicks of the puck. Miracle has the reveal to take down DUI2. Both supports gone for around a minute, and a 5 versus 3 that Vici have to deal with.
They also have a shard. They gave it to Puck. So you can knock them back, snap the coil potentially.
Well, I thought Ursa was going to hunt the Tiny. I mean, Ori is farming quite dangerously down there. iLTW, I think, was considering moving into Triangle to try and find him. Only 1 lane remains though now, Lacoste. Down bottom, Vici have 1 lane to defend. Nigma only have 1 lane to attack into with the entire set of ultis and abilities that we've seen them utilize so very well. I just need a bit of vision. Just need to catch a glimpse of someone here. Both Ancient Apparition and Mars are ready to make that jump.
Ancient Apparition can't die. 2 floppy hats, 1 in the backpack. Eon Disc as well, sitting at 1800 HP at the moment. They're ready to go. They're ready to go on the high ground. Miracle just gets straight up damage. Right now has a Crystallis in the backpack. We'll swap that in once he uses the haste.
Yeah, get himself a bit speedy and then get the damage going. Not going to bother defending bottom tier 2, far too difficult in that real hilly terrain for Vici Gaming, so instead opting to push out top, hold mid, and defend with everything they've got down at bottom. They start with the 12 stop. Old 11 just trying to chip away at iLTW, put the fear into Nigma so they don't straight push high ground, but look at MC. He jumps up there. He whacks back the Tiny, and now iLTW is in onto DY. Toss back the Ursa, but this Teddy Bear, he's not messing around now. They expect a horn, but they lost the PYW shadow. Both supports are gone. Terrorize coming into the Spectre illusions. I don't think they call the real one. Miracle's going to have to jaunt away to the orb. Tiny wants it with a Centaur blink, but he gets the cheese off. Survives the onslaught, and now the arena bashing up onto that Tiny. iLTW clears them up.
This might be it, and they call it. They actually call it. One thing that I noticed, especially for IG in the Chinese scene, they call GG. They understand, like, we can't win this game. Complete dominance.